Welcome to the Motivation Code, how to stay inspired for life. Get ready to unlock the habits and mindset that fuel unstoppable drive every single day. The truth about motivation. Here's something most people don't realize. Motivation isn't permanent. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, and other days, even getting out of bed feels like climbing a mountain. That's not failure, it's human. The secret isn't to wait until you feel motivated because feelings are unreliable. The real secret is to act even when you don't feel like it. Motivation gets you started, but habit keeps you going. Think of it like firewood. Motivation is the spark, but discipline and consistency are the logs that keep the fire alive. If you want to stay motivated under all circumstances, stop chasing the feeling. Build systems, habits, and routines that carry you forward when inspiration fades. Intrinsic versus extrinsic drive. Motivation comes in two flavors. Intrinsic motivation is when you do something because it excites you, because it matters to you on a deep level. Extrinsic motivation is when you're pushed by rewards, recognition, or even fear of failure. Both can be powerful, but here's the catch. Extrinsic motivation fades quickly. The applause stops, the rewards lose their shine. What lasts is intrinsic motivation, the passion, the curiosity, the purpose that comes from within. If you want to stay motivated long-term, anchor your goals to something internal, not just external. Ask yourself, would I still do this if nobody noticed? If the answer is yes, you found a fuel that never runs out. Why waiting to feel ready is a trap? How many times have you said, I'll start when I feel ready? Here's the truth. You'll never feel completely ready. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll be waiting forever. Motivation doesn't magically arrive before you start. It grows after you start. Think about going to the gym. You rarely feel motivated beforehand, but once you begin, the energy kicks in. Action creates momentum, and momentum fuels motivation. So stop waiting for the stars to align. Start small. Do one thing today, even if it's imperfect. Because waiting to feel ready is just fear wearing a mask. The real breakthrough happens when you act first and let motivation catch up, turning motivation into momentum. Motivation is like a spark. It's exciting, but it burns out fast unless you turn it into momentum. Momentum is what carries you forward, even when energy dips. How do you build momentum? Start with small, consistent actions. Think of a snowball, tiny at first, but as it rolls, it gathers size and speed. That's momentum. Each small win makes the next one easier, and soon you're unstoppable. The trick is not to chase big bursts of motivation, but to convert that energy into daily habits. If you can master momentum, you'll discover that motivation is no longer something you wait for. It's something you create. Motivation is a choice. Here's a radical idea. Motivation is not just a feeling, it's a decision. Every day you get to choose whether to act or not. Some days you won't feel like working, studying, or pushing forward. That's normal. But the choice is still yours. Will you let your emotions dictate your actions, or will you choose to show up anyway? The people we admire, athletes, leaders, innovators, they aren't motivated every single day. They've simply trained themselves to choose action over excuses. Motivation under all circumstances is built on this truth. Feelings are temporary, but choices are permanent. Choose wisely. The myth of endless motivation. One of the biggest myths is that successful people feel motivated all the time. That's not true. What they've mastered is consistency. They don't rely on endless inspiration, they rely on habits, routines, and systems that make motivation almost irrelevant. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do it, it's automatic. The same applies to success. If you can build routines that support your goals, you won't need constant motivation to keep moving. Stop chasing the high of motivation and start building the stability of discipline. That's how you keep going, no matter what. Goals without meaning feel empty. Ever wonder why some people achieve a goal and still feel unfulfilled? It's because the goal wasn't tied to meaning. Motivation dies quickly when the destination doesn't inspire you. Earning money, losing weight, or getting a promotion. Those goals only stick if they connect to something deeper. Do you want money for freedom? Do you want health for more years with loved ones? Do you want promotion for the impact you can create? If your goals are hollow, motivation will be too. Tie your goals to something that makes your heart race and you'll never run out of fuel. The power of a why. When life gets heavy, purpose is what pulls you through. If you know your why, you can handle almost any how. Think of a marathon runner. The pain is real, but the finish line keeps them moving. Your purpose works the same way. When you're connected to something bigger than comfort, setbacks lose their power. So don't just set goals. Ask why they matter. Why this job? Why this project? Why this dream? A strong why is like a compass. It keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Without it, even small challenges feel overwhelming. With it, nothing feels impossible. The personal mission statement. Companies have mission statements, so why not you? A personal mission statement is your declaration of purpose. It reminds you why you exist and what you stand for. When life gets messy, it gives you clarity. Write one line that sums up your mission. For example, my mission is to inspire others through my creativity, or my mission is to serve my family and community with love and strength. Keep it visible. Read it daily. When motivation dips, this statement becomes your anchor. Without a mission, you drift. With one, you stay on course, no matter the storm. Connecting daily tasks to the big picture. Motivation often dies in the boredom of daily grind. Emails, chores, endless to-do lists, it all feels small. But here's the trick. Connect each small task to your bigger purpose. That boring report, it's a stepping stone to your career goals. That early workout, it's an investment in your long-term health. Every small act is part of something larger. When you see the link between today's effort and tomorrow's dream, even the mundane becomes meaningful. And meaning is what keeps motivation alive. Don't just ask, what am I doing? Ask, why does this matter? Borrowing motivation from a cause. Sometimes personal goals aren't enough to keep you motivated. That's when you borrow strength from a cause bigger than yourself. Think of parents who work tirelessly for their children, or activists who fight for justice even when exhausted. Purpose rooted in service is powerful. It gives you endless motivation because it's not about you anymore. So attach your goals to a cause. Maybe it's your family, your community, or even inspiring just one person. When it's no longer only about your comfort, you'll find energy you never knew you had. Revisit and refresh your why. Here's something most people forget. Your purpose isn't fixed forever. Life changes, and so should your why. A purpose that drove you at 20% may not drive you at 40%. That's normal. To stay motivated all the time, check in with your why. Is it still relevant? Does it still excite you? If not, redefine it. Fresh purpose brings fresh motivation. Don't cling to an old dream that no longer inspires you. Update your vision, realign your goals, and reignite your fire. Motivation doesn't fade because you're weak. It fades because your why needs a refresh. Discipline beats motivation. Here's a hard truth. You won't feel motivated every day. Some mornings you'll be tired, frustrated, or uninspired. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up to the gym, opening the laptop, or making that call when your mood says not today. Successful people aren't magical. They just rely on discipline, not feelings. Motivation starts the journey, but discipline gets you to the finish line. If you want unstoppable progress, stop worshiping motivation. Build discipline. The power of routines. Want to know how to make motivation unnecessary? Create routines. When you turn important actions into habits, you remove the need for daily decision-making. You don't need motivation to brush your teeth. It's automatic. Imagine if working out, writing, or saving money felt just as automatic. That's the power of routine. Routines shrink the mental battles you fight every day. Instead of asking, "Do I feel like it?" you just do it. Build a routine around your goals and watch how motivation stops being a struggle. It becomes a natural flow. Micro-commitments. Big goals often feel overwhelming, and that's when motivation collapses. Here's the hack. Shrink your commitment. Promise yourself just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of reading, 5 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of writing. Once you start, momentum usually carries you further, but even if it doesn't, you've still won. Small commitments bypass resistance, build confidence, and create consistency. Motivation doesn't require giant leaps. It requires tiny, repeatable steps. Remember, success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing something consistently every day. Consistency beats intensity. Motivation often pushes us into short bursts of intensity. Crash diets, extreme workouts, all-nighters. But that energy burns out fast. What truly matters is consistency. 10 minutes daily beats 3 hours once a week. A small, steady effort compounds into massive results. Think of a dripping faucet filling a bucket, slow but unstoppable. Consistency makes success inevitable because it stacks progress day after day. If you want to stay motivated, stop chasing dramatic bursts. Focus on steady, sustainable action. Remember, consistency builds habits, and habits build the life you want. Tracking builds discipline. If you want to stay motivated, measure your progress. What gets tracked gets improved. Athletes track their reps, writers track their word counts, savers track their budgets. Why? Because seeing progress, even tiny progress, motivates you to keep going. A streak chart, a journal, or even a simple checklist turns discipline into a game. Every tick mark is proof that you showed up. And when your brain sees progress, it craves more. Don't just rely on willpower. Let tracking fuel your motivation. Rewarding discipline. Motivation isn't just about the grind. It's also about celebrating the grind. Too many people only reward the outcome, like losing weight or finishing a project. But what about rewarding the discipline? Celebrate the fact that you showed up, even when it was hard. Treat yourself after a streak, acknowledge your effort, and recognize consistency as its own victory. Rewards reinforce behavior. When you make discipline satisfying, your brain starts craving it. Motivation becomes automatic when effort itself feels rewarding. Redefining failure. Most people fear failure, but fear is the biggest motivation killer. Here's the truth. Failure isn't a stop sign. It's feedback. Every mistake tells you what doesn't work. Think of inventors, athletes, or artists. Failure is a stepping stone, not a dead end. When you see failure as a lesson instead of a loss, motivation doesn't disappear, it grows. Reframe your setbacks. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? This simple shift turns obstacles into fuel and keeps you moving forward no matter how many times you stumble. Learning from mistakes. Mistakes aren't proof that you're incapable. They're proof that you're trying. Every time something doesn't go as planned, take note. Write down what happened, what worked, and what didn't. Lessons learned today become advantages tomorrow. People who succeed aren't free from mistakes, they're fast learners. Motivation thrives when you treat failure as data. Instead of quitting, adjust your plan. Instead of feeling defeated, get curious. Turn each misstep into a stepping stone. Every mistake is a teacher, and every teacher fuels your journey. Resilience over regret. When failure hits, it's easy to dwell on regret. But regret drains energy and kills motivation. Resilience is the antidote. Pick yourself up, reassess, and take the next step. Resilient people don't wait for perfect conditions. They act, adapt, and improve. Motivation under all circumstances isn't about avoiding failure, it's about bouncing back faster than you fall. Every time you recover, your inner confidence grows. Setbacks stop being roadblocks and become proof of your strength, turning setbacks into stepping stones. Here's a powerful mindset shift. View setbacks as stepping stones. One failed pitch, one lost client, one missed goal doesn't define you, it prepares you. Each setback teaches you strategy, patience, and adaptability. The people who reach their dreams aren't those who avoided obstacles. They're the ones who used obstacles to climb higher. Motivation comes from seeing progress, even if it comes through detours. The next time you hit a wall, ask yourself, how can I turn this into my advantage? Embracing experimentation. Every failure is an experiment. When you try something new, you don't always succeed, but you always learn. Motivation thrives in experimentation because it keeps you curious and moving forward. Think like a scientist. Each attempt gives valuable data. What didn't work? Adjust and test again. Over time, experimentation accelerates growth. You'll discover solutions you never imagined and skills you never knew you had. Motivation isn't waiting for certainty. It's embracing the unknown with courage. Celebrating the courage to fail. Finally, celebrate the courage to fail. Most people fear judgment or embarrassment, but daring to try is where real growth begins. Each attempt, even if it fails, proves your commitment to your goals. Courage builds confidence, and confidence fuels motivation. Shift your focus from the result to the effort itself. Every time you risk failure, you grow stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. Motivation under all circumstances isn't about perfection. It's about persistence, bravery, and the willingness to learn. Your environment shapes your motivation. Motivation doesn't exist in a vacuum. The people, spaces, and energy around you have a huge impact. A cluttered, negative environment drains willpower and focus. A supportive, inspiring environment lifts energy and sparks action. Take a look around. Are your surroundings fueling your goals or sabotaging them? Small changes, tidying your workspace, adding inspiration boards, or playing energizing music can have an outsized effect on your drive. Motivation is contagious, and the environment you choose determines how strong it will stay. The power of positive people. We become like the 5 people we spend the most time with. If they complain, doubt, or procrastinate, your motivation will weaken. But if they inspire, challenge, and uplift you, you rise. Surround yourself with positive, driven individuals who push you to be better. Join communities, mastermind groups, or even social circles that value growth. Motivation under all circumstances is amplified by your associations. Choose people who reflect the energy and success you want to create. Limiting toxic influences. Negative voices, whether from people, media, or social feeds, can quietly drain your motivation. Toxic influences breed doubt, fear, and procrastination. To protect your drive, set boundaries. Reduce exposure to negativity, mute energy-sapping content, and minimize interactions with constant complainers. Motivation thrives when you curate your inputs carefully. What you allow in shapes what you believe possible. Protect your mental space. It's the soil where motivation grows. Creating a motivating space. Your environment can literally remind you to take action. Place motivational quotes where you can see them. Keep your goals visible. Surround yourself with items, music, or visuals that remind you of your dreams. Even small environmental cues, like a tidy desk or vision board, can trigger focus and energy. Motivation doesn't always have to come from within. It can be sparked externally, and designing a motivating space makes it easier to stay consistent every day. Peer accountability. One of the strongest tools for sustained motivation is accountability. Share your goals with someone who will check in, challenge you, or cheer for your progress. Knowing someone else is watching or rooting for you creates an extra push to show up. Whether it's a friend, mentor, or online group, peer accountability transforms intention into action. Motivation under all circumstances is amplified when you know someone else believes in your potential, even on your toughest days. Inspiration through observation. You don't always need to be in the right environment. Sometimes observing the right environment is enough. Watch how top performers, leaders, and disciplined people live their lives. Learn from their routines, choices, and mindset. Exposure to high-achieving behavior trains your brain to aim higher. Motivation isn't just internal, it's learned by example. Surround yourself, even virtually, with inspiration and let it influence your actions daily. Motivation for life. Motivation isn't a magic spark. It's a skill you cultivate every day. Life will throw challenges, distractions, and setbacks your way. Some days energy will feel low and purpose may seem distant. That's normal. The secret is consistency, resilience, and perspective. Show up, take action, and celebrate progress, no matter how small. Surround yourself with support, protect your energy, learn from every failure, and revisit your why often. Discipline, gratitude, self-care, and adaptability are the tools that make motivation sustainable. Remember, motivation isn't just about feeling inspired. It's about creating momentum, aligning with purpose, and choosing action. When you live this way, motivation becomes more than a momentary spark. It becomes a steady flame that carries you through every circumstance, lighting the path to your goals, dreams, and a life of fulfillment. This was The Motivation Code. Thank you for listening, and may you stay inspired for life.